We are going to be using watercolor oil pastels. These pastels are really special because when you color with them, they color like just regular pastels, which means that if I press down light, it's going to show up light. If I press down hard, it's going to show up really bright. But the special part is that when I paint over these pastels with water, it will turn into paint. So I'm gonna just color in all of my artwork. And then when I'm ready, I can go ahead and start painting. I'm gonna start off by showing you an example of what not to do. So what you do not want to do is get your paintbrush wet and then just start painting all over your artwork like that. If you do that, it's gonna mix all of your colors together and it might not end up the way that you were wanting it to. So instead, what we're gonna do is we're gonna rinse out our brush. We're gonna scrape the extra water off on the side of the cup, and then we're only gonna paint in the space where there's one color. So right now I'm painting the red shirt. Once your brush starts to dry off, you can dip it in the water, scrape off just a little bit off of the edge, and then keep painting. You can see the way that when I paint the places where I colored with pastels, that color kind of spreads around and turns into paint. I only need to paint the places that I colored in lightly. So like I colored in the sky lightly and the face and the shirt. So those would be the only places that I need to paint. Let me show you what happens, or really what doesn't happen when you paint over the parts that you press down really hard on. So I can paint in the rainbow or the hair or the heart where I press down really hard, but it's just not gonna do very much, because I already filled in that whole section with color. Painting it doesn't really change the way that the artwork looks, and it kind of makes it to where you might like make a mistake and accidentally paint a part that you don't want to paint. So I would make your life easier by only painting in the parts that you colored in lightly, and you can have that contrast between the parts that aren't painted and the parts that are painted.